Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks again for joining me. We're going to be doing a short practice today on sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. Before I launch into that, I want to thank all of you students who have been donating to my cause, Dogs Behind Bars Belgium. And through these classes that I'm posting online, I'm hoping to raise some money for our charity. And every year we go down to Spain to help neuter dogs that have been on the streets or in shelters. So it really helps us a lot. So if you do have some spare change, you can donate to any of these classes, €1, 50 cents, $1, whatever feels right for you. And you can find the information in the description below this video. Okay, this is one of the t-shirts that we sell. We also have hoodies, and it's our slogan, be kind to every kind. Thank you. Anyway, so back to the sun salutations. It will be about 30 minutes that we'll be going through this flow. I've shortened this practice for several students who were asking for a shorter practice just to fit it into their day. I just want to explain to you very quickly what the sun salutations are in general. It's a set of poses linked together to create a flow. And they date back many, many, many years. And over the different lineages of yoga, they have taken on different styles and different forms. But most have held on to the meaning behind the sun salutations, which is worshiping the sun, thanking the sun for rising for us every day without fail. Also, the sun salutations, the Surya Namaskar, are there to fortify the body and the mind to make us stronger and to liberate us. These days, most people risk the spine collapsing and falling downward, especially this low area here. We tend to reach for the back of the chair, and so we slump, and this tends to hold for hours at a time. And so we lose that natural curve of our spine. So when we flow through the Surya Namaskars, we're helping our pelvis, this is the whole pelvic region, to rock forward and back, forward and back. So it's continuously going from anterior to posterior tilt. And we're helping our pelvis to rock forward and backward in this rhythmic way. And this way we maintain fluid and motion in our low back. So it's really, really important. So we're pumping life back into the entire spinal column. So the sun salutations are considered the heart of every vinyasa practice that you do. So welcome to my version. So every teacher has a little bit of a different version, different style, but it's essentially the same template. So welcome to mine. Here we go. We're going to start in child's pose. Just take your knees wider than your hips, your two big toes together. Rest your hips back onto your heels, and let's stretch our arms forward. Take your head down. And then just let your head rest. Let your head feel heavy. Your fingers are spread. Your pelvis is heavy. And we're just going to breathe a couple times wide into the lungs and into the rib cage. And as you reach those arms forward, be sure not to pull on the shoulders too much. Hug the shoulders into the body as you reach through the elbows. Let's take one more breath. And as you breathe in, lift your head, look at your hands. Walk your hands over to the left, keeping your hands shoulder distance apart, your hips back on your heels, and only go far enough until you start to feel that pull along the right side of the body. Take your head down, take about 3 breaths. Really expanding the breathing. Really feeling it expand into the right lung. Then on your next breath in, lift your head, look forward, walk your hands back to the center of your mat, walking over to the right. Keep going without lifting the left hip. And then keep your hands about shoulder distance apart, and then take your head back down again. And just take about 2 or 3 more breaths. Breathing into left lung, left rib cage. Head is heavy. And then as you inhale, gaze forward, walk your hands back to the center of your mat. Coming up onto your hands and knees, walk your knees right underneath your hip sockets. Hands underneath the shoulders. So this is kind of like a mini sun salutation on our hands and knees as we rock the pelvis. As you inhale, turn your tailbone up as you slide your chest forward, keeping your neck long. And then take your toes under, rock your pelvis backwards as you hug your belly in and drop your head. And then the toes go back. Inhale, tailbone up, chest forward. And exhaling, toes under, rounding your back and tucking your head. And then we'll just do that a couple more times as you feel the extension of the spine and then the flexion of the spine as you exhale. Rocking through the pelvis without overdoing it, just feeling into it. A couple more. And another one. And if you know your Ujjayi breath, it's really nice to use it during the sun salutations. Now coming into neutral spine, you can keep your toes tucked under. Walk your hands slightly forward in front of your shoulders. Exhale, lift your knees off the mat, lift your hips up towards the sky, drop your head, downward facing dog. And then just take a little bit of a stretch through one leg at a time as you press one heel down and then the other heel. And then lifting both your heels up, gazing forward and stepping to the top of your mat. Bring your feet together and your chest forward into a halfway lift. You might feel tight, so bend your knees. And then fold on the exhale. Your hands are on the outsides of your feet and you drop your upper body all the way down your legs, tucking your nose in. Inhaling, reaching through that halfway lift, so flatten your back, and that's how we come up. All the way up, bring your hands together above your head and slide your hands down to the center of your chest. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start our first sun salutation, A. We'll do about 3 of these, and then we'll go into the B's. You don't need any blocks, any props for this practice. Feet together. Here we go. Inhale, take your arms up. As you lift your arms, lift your kneecaps and turn your tailbone down. Little bit of an upper back bend here as you bring the shoulder blades together on your back. As we exhale, we reach forward on the fold. Keeping your legs straight if you can. Take your hands to the outsides of your feet, plant your hands down, tuck your nose all the way in, and just be very careful that the shoulders don't drop into the ears. Draw the shoulders back away from the ears to create length in your neck. As we breathe in, slide your chest forward, flatten your back. Now you may not be able to reach the ground. Take your hands up higher to the lower legs. Press your lower legs forward into the hands. That's going to really open your chest. On the breath out, step it back into downward dog. Feet are only about small hip distance apart. You can even take the width of your sit bones. Some people tend to go a little too wide on this. Go a little bit smaller. And then from there, we're going to just test out the distance between our hands and our feet. As we come forward, shoulders over wrists, are you able to get yourself into full plank? As you'll notice, my hips are a little bit too high. So I'm going to go back into my downward facing dog. And I'm going to step my feet just a little bit further back. There we are. Now I'm going to glide forward. I'm going to open my chest, my collarbones, and here we are into plank. I'm going to turn my tailbone down and my chest forward. That's about it right there. Now we're going to rock forward into the toes. So we're kind of right up onto the tips of the toes. That's going to align my shoulders, elbows, and wrists. As I come down, I'm going to hug my elbows into my ribs. Now this might be heavy. Take your knees down and then come all the way down. Spread your toes back, lengthen your legs back. Now a lot of people tend to pull their body back onto their mat because they're worried that their head is coming onto the floor. Don't worry about that. It's okay. It's really okay, because if you slide your body back, your hand's going to be in a different position. So you want to keep the hands exactly where they are. just behind the shoulders, near the upper ribs. I'm going to press all 10 toenails down. I'm going to press my pubic bone down. I'm going to slide my chest forward. It's not very high. I want the lifting action to come from my low back, more from my low back than from my arms. So you want to really fortify in the low back. You want to feel that contraction. And you're going to come down. You're going to take your toes under. Now you might want to use your knees. Press up into knee plank, or you come right up into full plank, downward facing dog. Okay, let's take about 4 or 5 breaths. Reaching, lengthening through your inner arms, but hugging into your shoulder joints. Lifting the sit bones higher. This is actually an anterior tilt, or considered a neutral tilt of your pelvis. As you inhale, lift your heels up, look forward. Alternate your feet when you step forward. Before, I stepped with my right foot. Now I'm going to step with my left foot. Bring the feet together at the top of your mat, halfway lift. Fingertips to the floor or to the lower legs. As we exhale, pull the belly in and come all the way down the fronts of your legs. Shoulders back. Inhale, reach your chest forward, arms out to the sides as you come up. And then feel that back bend lifting up between the shoulder blades rather than in the low back. And take your hands to your chest. Let's try another one. Here we go. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, reach out, flat back, dive it forward, hands to the outer feet, drop your head in, shoulders back. As you inhale, pull the chest forward until the back is flat. And again here, also alternate your feet as you step back into downward facing dog. So again, get the proper distance between your hands and your feet that you can glide forward into high plank pose. Otherwise, go back into downward facing dog and try it again. Turn your tailbone down. That's going to activate your thighs. Pull the chest forward, rock into the tiptoes. Feel free to take the knees down first. Slowly come down. Spread the toes back, stay exactly where you are. Hands are in perfect position. Press the tops of the feet down, pubic bone down. Feel the energy of the inner legs lifting with the chest. Slowly go down. Turn your toes under. You can push up onto your hands and knees or come right up into high plank. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Let's take another 2 or 3 breaths here. Soft mind, strong body. And then on your next inhale, lifting heels, looking forward, alternating your feet. You can bend your knees here a little. Step forward, soft landing, feet together, halfway lift. And then we fold. Tuck it all the way in, belly in. So it's a strong pose. And then inhale, chest forward, and then come all the way up. And exhaling, hands to the chest. Okay, so let's do a third one. We'll do it with a little bit more flow. And pay attention to this rocking rhythm of your pelvis. Inhale, take your arms up, open your throat. Exhale, we fold. Keep your legs strong as you dive in. Inhaling, coming into a halfway lift, almost feeling a back bend like a cobra here. Alternating your feet as you step back into downward facing dog. As you breathe in, you're going to lift your shoulder blades towards the sky. You're rocking forward. Notice the pelvis as it shifts. Open your chest, tailbone down. Rock into the toes. Go all the way down. Spread your toes out. Your hands are perfect where they are. Inhale, hug your elbows in as you lift your chest and your inner thighs. Activate your inner thighs. Exhaling, going down. Toes under, coming up into plank. Downward facing dog. Take about 2 or 3 breaths. You can always shift your feet around. Keep your inner legs really active. They're reaching back towards the wall that you're looking at. Firming up your outer hips. And then inhaling, lifting heels, looking forward, bending knees. See if you can step lightly to the top of your mat, feet together, halfway lift. If it feels better to keep your feet hip distance apart, you're welcome to do that. And then we fold. Press your hands firmly into the ground. Pull the belly in, shoulders back. Inhale, re-extend forward, almost feeling that back bend as you take your arms out to the sides or even forward. All the way up. Hands can press together above your head. Hands slide down to the center of the chest. I'd love to do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Long breath out. Inhale, slide your chest forward. Exhaling, downward dog, stepping both your feet back to the back of the mat. Inhale, rock it forward, shoulders over wrists, open your chest. Exhaling, coming onto the tiptoes, go slowly to your mat. Spread your toes back. Inhale, open your chest forward as your elbows reach back towards the hips. And we come down and up into plank, downward facing dog. Okay, take about 3 breaths. And just make sure you don't sink in the shoulders. Keep your shoulders in line with the hips. Belly in. One more breath. And then as we inhale, we lift the heels. We look forward, bending knees, stepping 1 foot at a time to the top of the mat. Feet together, halfway up. Exhaling, pressing the hands down into the mat. Drop your head in. And then inhaling, coming up with a long back. Open the front spine. And then take your hands to your chest. Now you're welcome to press pause and do that a couple more times. And now we're going to go into my version of Surya Namaskar B. So here we go. Feet together. We're going to exhale and we're going to go down. We're going to touch earth. As we inhale, we reach our arms forward and up as the chest rises with the fingertips. Heavy in the heels. As we exhale, we straighten the legs, we fold. We come up into a halfway lift, open your collarbones. See if you can hop it back or step it back into downward facing dog. On your in-breath, coming forward into high plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Coming forward into the tiptoes, tailbone down. You're going to come halfway down. Now some of you will choose to go all the way down. Then coming onto the tops of the feet, spread your toes. Pull the chest forward as if you want to hang it in front of the fingertips. Knees are lifted off the ground. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Now on the inhale, lift your right leg up. Bring your knee into your chest. Lift the left heel higher so you have space. Look forward and step through. Take your back heel down. Now just drop your head. Look at your back heel. Make sure it's in the center of the mat. And your back toes are facing inwards about 45 degrees. Press your front foot down, the big toe. Reach your arms forward. Coming up into warrior one. Really anchor that back heel and press the 2 feet away from each other, which is going to help you to take your hips down without sitting in the hips. So press the feet down and away from each other. That's also going to help you to really broaden through the chest. Take another breath. And then take your hands all the way down, lift your back heel, step it out, downward dog. Okay, take your time aligning your down dog so that when you come forward, you're all set for plank. Open your chest, come onto the tiptoes. Now again, it's your choice, either going halfway down or all the way. Coming onto the tops of the feet, pull the chest forward, keeping your neck neutral. So you want to just gaze forward, chin is just running parallel to the ground. And then pull the belly in, downward facing dog. Again, really paying attention to this rocking of your pelvis. Lift your left leg up. Bring the knee into your chest, looking forward. Step it lightly between your hands. Very challenging. Some of you might only make it halfway to your hands like this. Take your hand with the corresponding foot, hold the ankle, and pick it up and just bring it forward. Take your back heel down into the middle of the mat. Press your feet down. That's going to bring lightness and buoyancy into your spine as you come up. So it's almost effortless when you put a lot of effort into the legs as you come up, 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 up. So that back heel is rooted, back outer heel, and you're pressing your feet down and away from each other, which is going to help you to root your hips without falling into the hips and expressing your chest open. Take your hands all the way down. Lift your back heel, step it out, downward dog. Now coming forward into high plank pose once again. Tailbone down, come onto the tiptoes, take it slowly to your mat. Spread your toes back. So you can either choose cobra or upward facing dog into downward facing dog. Okay, so we're just about to finish our sun salutation B. That was one round. Take another breath. And then on our inhale, we'll lift our heels, we'll look forward. Now you can choose to step or you can take a hop. If you hop, hop and land softly. Halfway up, and then we fold. Press your hands down, draw your head in towards the middle of your legs, shoulders back. And now reaching forward into that halfway lift, bend your knees. Sit in the heels, float the heart up as the arms come up. Now if you have sensitive low back, don't go way down here. Don't go way down here. If it's a little sensitive, take it up a little higher. Heels heavy, hips back. And then stand, bringing your hands to your heart. And the length of your thumbs are right up against the lower sternum. And there you can feel your beating heart. And that's really nice to get connected with that. Okay? So take another breath. Okay, let's do another one. Belly in. We're going to exhale, bend the knees, touch earth. Knees are together. And then get heavy in those heels as you reach your arms forward and up. Exhale, fold all the way down as you straighten your legs. Halfway up, inhale. Exhale, you can hop it back into downward facing dog. Coming forward into high plank, open your chest. Coming onto the tiptoes, go halfway down, hugging elbows in. Upward facing dog is keeping the knees off of the mat and drawing the chest forward. Chin is leveled with the ground. Pull the belly in, downward facing dog. As you inhale, take your right leg up. Take your knee into chest, gaze forward, step through. Come up onto your fingertips. Take your back heel, drop it down into the middle of the mat. Press your feet down, inhale, rise up. So really feel that rooting of the feet in order to lift the back of the heart. Take your hands all the way down. Step it out, downward dog. Take a breath. As you breathe in, coming forward, high plank pose. Exhaling onto the tiptoes, go halfway down. Upward facing dog, long neck. Downward facing dog. As you breathe in, take your left leg up. Bring your knee into chest, gaze forward, step through. So really make space for yourself to step through. Take your back heel down, press your feet down to lift up. So when I do warrior ones, I'm not so concerned about the hips facing the top of the mat. If the hips face the right corner of the mat, perfect. Exhale, taking your hands down, step it out, downward facing dog. One more breath. Coming forward into high plank. Open your upper chest, rocking into the toes, tailbone down. Take your time going all the way down or halfway down, coming into cobra. I'll do it with you. Cobra pose or upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. So we've got the heat going, right? And this is another really important quality of the sun salutations, is that it really helps to bring the body temperature up in order to start to open it for the rest of the practice. But if you only tend to make it to the sun salutations in one day, that's enough. That's a practice on its own. As you inhale, lift your heels up, gaze forward. You can take a step or a light hop. Halfway up. And then we fold. Bend your knees. That's going to help you to straighten your spine. Utkatasana. Press your knees together. Slide your inner hips back. Reach up to the sky and take your hands to your chest. Okay, ready for one more? Here we go. On the exhale, go down and touch earth. On the inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Open your chest. Feel that firing up of the low back. It's an anterior tilt of the pelvis. Exhale, pour it down. Tuck your nose in. Inhaling halfway up. So keep noticing the different positions we're putting the hips in. Exhale, you can hop or step back into downward facing dog. Coming forward, rocking it open, front spine open. Come onto the toes, go halfway down or all the way. Upward facing dog is keeping the knees off of the mat, engaging the quadriceps. Downward facing dog. As you inhale, take your right leg up. Bring the knee into chest, look up, and step through. So you're making space. Take the back heel down, press your feet down and away from each other as you rise up. And now my chest is facing slightly to the left corner of my mat as I keep pushing my feet away from each other. Taking the hands down, stepping out, downward facing dog. Coming forward into high plank pose. Shifting into the tiptoes, go halfway or all the way down. Your choice. Coming into upward facing dog or cobra. Long neck. Downward facing dog. Take another breath. Inhaling left leg up. Bringing knee to chest. Look forward. Really lift your shoulder blades to the sky to step that foot through. Take your back heel down, press your feet down, inhale, warrior one. So really let the whole upper body just bloom and flower open. Take another breath. Take your hands down, step it out, downward facing dog. Okay, here's your last chaturanga. Let's glide forward. Strong legs. Stronger your legs are, the more the chest can open. Come into the tiptoes. Go halfway down or all the way down. Upward facing dog is lifting the legs off of the mat and then into downward facing dog. Okay, take a couple breaths. So ideally we like to breathe in and out only through the nose the whole time, just to keep our body heat contained inside. Some people are often very surprised how much they sweat in a yoga practice, and a lot of that has to do with the breathing. And then as you inhale, lift your heels, look forward, see if you can take a silent hop to the top of your mat. Halfway up, shoulders back, and then we fold. Coming into a halfway lift, bend your knees, press your inner knees together. That's going to help to really get some strength in your low belly. Take your arms up. And then lift higher, straighten it all up, reach for the sun, and take your hands to your chest. And the length of your thumbs are pressing into the lower sternum, and perhaps you can feel a good heartbeat going. And just use your ujjayi breath and breathing in and out through your nose to help bring that heart rate down a little bit. Take another breath. Let's step it out to the side. we're gonna turn the heels in. We're gonna come into a squat. Yeah. And then I'd like you to take your left elbow to your left knee. So it might be opposite of what I'm doing. And then you're gonna turn your chest to your right knee. Look at your right knee. Okay, now take your right hand onto the top of the upper thigh bone, and I want you to push that thigh bone away as if you're trying to pull it out of your hip socket. Just getting a little bit of extra length there. And then once you've got that going, take your right arm up and reach it on a diagonal alongside the ear. With your bottom elbow, spin your chest open to the sun. Take another breath. Take this top arm, swoop it down to the floor, right in between your feet. Take your left hand down, turn your toes in, heels out, halfway lift, and then take a fold. Walk your hands between your feet and drop your head. Hug your elbows towards each other and lift your shoulders off of the base of your neck. One more breath. Inner legs are active, they're rotating back towards the wall you're looking at, and then coming into a halfway lift, and turn your heels in again, toes out, take a squat, and take your arms up. Take your hands to your hips, take your right elbow to right thigh bone, left hand is now gonna do the pushing. So you're gonna take that to the top of your thigh bone, and you're gonna go ahead and look. You're gonna look at your thigh, look at your knee, take that left hand, push that thigh bone away as you reach your torso away from that left hip. Okay, now spin that chest open, left arm comes up and over. So you're pulling that left arm away from the left knee. Turn your chest open a little more, using that bottom elbow kind of like as a crowbar to really spin the right lung up towards the sky. One more breath. Then take that top arm, swoop it down to the ground, then take your right hand down, and then straighten your legs, turning toes in. It's gonna give your legs a break. And then lift your chest forward, halfway lift. This time take your arms out to the sides, come around to the back, interlock your fingers, reach your knuckles straight back, shoulder blades together. Keep a little space between the palms of your hands. Take a fold. You can also bend your knees if you feel any tightness in your low back. Arms come over the head wherever they want to come over without forcing the shoulder girdle. Take another breath. And then coming up into a halfway lift, take your hands to the ground, fingertips. This time we're just gonna walk our hands to the top of the mat, turning your left toes out, lift your back heel, downward facing dog. Take your knees down. Knees right underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And let's go through the cat-cow again. Let's just see if there's any more fluidity. As we inhale, we pull the chest forward, tailbone up. As you breathe out, take your toes under and round your back. Inhaling, sliding the front spine open. Exhaling, opening back spine. And again, notice the rocking of your pelvis. Opening and rounding. One more. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming back to neutral, untuck your toes. Take your two big toes together, your knees wider apart, wider than your hips. Take your hips back onto your heels, walk your hands forward, take your forehead down. Breathe into back lungs. Then pressing the palms of the hands down, look forward, walk your hands over to the left. Keeping your sit bones down to the heels, hands stay shoulder distance apart, and then take your forehead back down again. Just notice if there's any small differences compared to the beginning of your practice. And then lifting your head again, looking at your hands, walk your hands back to the center of your mat, and then go over to the right, keeping your left sit bone down, hands stay shoulder distance apart, and then take your head down. And then pressing the hands down, looking forward, walking your hands to the top of the mat, and then go ahead and lift your hips up. Take your knees underneath, cross your ankles, and let's sit back. Let's come into the center of our mat. Let's just lie down for just a moment. Bringing your knees into your chest, and then just rock it out side to side. And then taking your arms out to the sides. You can keep your knees together. Take your knees halfway to the right, halfway to the left, halfway to the right, and then to the left. And then maybe take your knees all the way to the right and let your knees drop and open the palms of your hands. Yeah, just center your head. You don't need to turn your head unless that feels good. Just as a reminder, when we do the sun salutations, it's really not about flexibility and going to any extreme places with your body. It's really just about gaining range of motion, period. Any yoga practice is just about gaining range of motion and healing parts of our body that ache. Now on the exhale, bringing your knees back to center. Turn the palms of the hands down. Take an exhale. Go halfway over to the left. You can pause. Or you can take it all the way down. Let the feet rest. And turn the palms of the hands open. Rest your shoulders. Any kind of gentle twist is really beautiful after a practice, even if it's a short practice. Just helps to kind of bring some balance into the spinal column, some balance into the nervous system. And then as you breathe out, take your knees back to center. And take your hands onto your knees. And then go ahead and lift your head. Bring your forehead really close to your knees. Go ahead and wrap your arms around your legs. Maybe grab the opposite elbow. Squeeze in. Really squeeze in. And then let it go. And you just stretch out into the middle of your mat. Let the feet flop out to the sides and the palms of the hands are open. Just letting all of the work release. And the quieter that your body becomes, the more you can actually feel the work still inside, still moving on the inside. Just close your eyes and give yourself a moment to sense the Surya Namaskar still circling and cycling on the inside of your body. And if your phone or your computer is close to you, to press pause. I invite you to stay longer in shavasana. And when you're ready to come out, you bend your knees, you place your feet on the mat. You relax your right arm behind you. You roll to the right side. Everything comes with you, including your left hand, resting your head on your right arm. And then turning your chest further down towards the floor. That's going to make your left hand heavier. Pressing down through the left hand. And come up. Keep your head low. Keeping your head down, chin close to chest, until your legs are crossed. And once the legs are crossed, take your hands to the knees. Pull the front of the spine open and lift your chin. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. Enjoy, and I hope you come back to this practice again and again until you start to master the sun salutations. They're a beautiful practice, and you can do this. You can easily do this on your own. It's a very easy sequence to remember. Tune in again soon. Thank you so much.